newspapers now, Chamberlain?
He does. So let's go ahead and have a look. We'll start with Nigerian Tribune this morning, and ECOWAS shaky as Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso quit. So that is a big lead on the front page of Nigerian Tribune here today. Their withdrawal notification not yet received, body says. More divisions imminent, NIA directors warn. Then at the bottom strip here, you see how NAS has been violating Constitution since 1999.
From the Tribune, we go on to The Guardian. That's a coup fallout. Trade security concerns as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso exit ECOWAS. That's what they lead with as well. Continues on page 6. When you look at the picture there, the three leaders of those countries and our president. But I'm sure there's something that ECOWAS will really want to delve into and see how to keep the body together. But below that, accounts for over 40 trillion allocations to the FCT councils. SERAP tells governors, as in SERAP is calling out to the different governors in different states and the FCT to account for 40 trillion naira that was allocated to the local government areas. Then the other matter about petrol trading lifts NNPC's profits. But that's it from The Guardian.
Front page of the Nigerian News Direct this morning is also talking about the ECOWAS story. Pressure tightens on Nigeria's foreign trade as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso exit ECOWAS. What does that mean indeed? The details you'll find on page 3. Nigerians risk a further hike in price of rice, oil, millet, others. Okay. We'll get more understanding on that later, but that's the lead story of the Nigerian News Direct today.
Look at the Inquirer, Abuja Inquirer. Breakthrough. DPO rejects 1 million naira bribe. Nabi has killer. Wike tasks area councils on vigilante teams. Amateur lists kidnappers hotspots. So that's what you see with the Inquirer.
The Daily Independent talks about the naira as against other currencies. Says experts see the naira trading at 2,000 naira to $1. Says the CBN overwhelmed. That's what Daily Independent's leading with. And then the other matter, legal hurdles may scuttle Lagos government planned airport. Those are the major stories on the front page of the Daily Independent.
Well, Lagos has always surmounted its troubles. Well, for this one, we'll wait and see. The Nigerian Observer leads with something different. Union staffers divided over sale of Shell's onshore assets. Staffers say more interested in continuity terms. What does all of that mean? You'll find the details on page 2 of the Nigerian Observer today.
Have a look at Business Day. NNPC cash for oil deal mortgages 30% of output. But they also have a bit on the ECOWAS scenario here. Africa's free trade area under threat as ECOWAS shrinks. Business Day reports.
And this Nigeria leads with that story, the ECOWAS story, but they captured it a different way. Rumpers in ECOWAS as Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso quit sub-regional body, alleged foreign manipulation of organization following sanctions on coup. ECOWAS not aware of exit. That's how this Nigeria captioned it. And below that, you have that story that broke over the weekend. NDLEA declares ex-beauty queen Aderinoye wanted for drug trafficking. That's another lead story there on this Nigeria.
The Blueprint newspaper has this on its front page, totally different, looking more inwards, I dare say. We're confronting bandits taking fight to criminals' den. That's according to the federal government. And look at the riders. Perpetrators of plateau killings, others will be brought to book. Assures MDA is working to bring down inflation, stabilize economy. Relocation of CBN fan offices for operational efficiency. That's ascribed to the Minister of Information and National Orientation. Find the details, continue on the inside pages. That's the lead story of the Blueprint newspaper today.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of these issues that stick out. the scenario on the front page of Blueprint, music to the ears to a lot of people, because when you talk about security, you talk about agencies doing their bit and ensuring that things are done properly, and then the question of fight against corruption. So when you see this kind of stories that the DPO rejecting ₦1 million way to go, it just sends very good signals across board that indeed you have these kinds of people in the force who can actually stand up and be counted. So this is the kind of narrative and reports that lots of Nigerians want to see, and then they want it spread across board. They want this kind of scenarios to be the norm, where security will stand up and do what they have to do. So yes, you've seen the FCT rally to ensure that different units, I think the minister has been visiting different area councils and trying to ensure that asked what's their need, what is the challenge, having boots on the ground, being hands-on in terms of what you do about security. So with this, we can only say very well done to the FCT Divisional Police Officer of Tafat Local Government area here, SP Idris Ibrahim. Very well done there. So persons like this should be encouraged to do a lot more. So we do hope that the police force will do whatever it takes to encourage this kind of attitude, this kind of scenario coming through, whatever they have to do either to him to make sure he continues preaching that message. And it'll be a message and a signal to criminals out there that, look, it's not business as usual, it's business unusual, because wherever you are, whatever you do, they should be able to get hold of it. So well done to the gentleman.
You know, Chamberlain, that matter, a lot of people look down on the police because they feel that there are a lot of bad elements there. But as I say, in every good bunch, there's always one fruit that may not be too good.
Yeah.
But the good always outnumbers the bad. So let's encourage the ones who are doing good like this.
And not that he has fantastic welfare remuneration.
It's the same welfare that every other person gets at his level.
And some people in his level give excuses to do other things.
No, they'll tell
you. But he chose.
They'll tell you that they have obligations and all of that.
Like everybody does.
Like everybody does. So, but doing good, I keep saying that growing up, one of the things we used to hear, and it's still there, you hear a good name is better than all the riches in the world, because we have all the money, but your name cannot match your riches. And
so we now, as a society, we need to ensure that we rally around persons like this in different sectors.
Indeed.
Wherever it is, because it's usually a lonely road if you want to stand out and do the right things. It's very lonely out there. So for this kind of people, we should find ways to encourage them, because they are all over the place.
True.
But they need the pat on the back.
True. So we're patting you on the back, SP. But let's go on to the Nigerian Observer here and look at that story. Union staffers divided over sale of Shell's onshore assets. That's what they're leading with. But if you look up above the nameplate, compliance as test pensions assets hit 18.4. We'll talk about the pension scheme in Nigeria. That's one area a lot of people have talked about. I had a conversation with the Minister of Housing who was talking about funding for the housing sector. And they are considering even looking into the pensions and see how that can be used, so that people who are doing contributions, your contributions can actually go to fund your house. Because the matter of housing is a major one. The housing deficit in Nigeria, there's that conversation whether it's 17 million or 21 million, it's there. And
they don't have the actual figure.
It's, again, data is another matter altogether. So this matter of visiting the Pensions Act is something that really should be considered, and how quickly can be worked on.
One of the ways for the minister to test is when you ask people, do they know about any scheme whatsoever? I think that will be your result to tell you whether or not people know what you're doing. If not, you know the results.
Indeed. Aya?
Well, two stories stand out for me on the front pages this morning, but I'll stick with the one on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. It's something that you also cited the other time, Nyota, when you read it. By the way, I need to add my voice to what you guys spoke about concerning that policeman who did what he ought to do as he ought to do it. And these are the kind of people that should be getting awards, aren't they? I understand that in the UK, it's the basic people, so to speak, that get national honors ordinary people, ordinary citizens get the national honors. So can we have an award segment in the national honors, officer, OFR, MFR, whatever it is, for people who do amazing things in the country to encourage them? Can we add that to the list? This policeman and a few others who have done similar things. Some time back, we saw the story of, I think it's a street sweeper who found something and reported it. These people, we shouldn't just pat them on the back and let them go. Can we give them national honors as well, as being the examples that we want as part of the national values that the Minister of Information and National Orientation is preaching? Back to my highlight, guys, is that story where the SERAP is asking the governors to account for 40 trillion naira local government area allocations, as well as the FCT. That story, of course, is on page 7. We've been talking about this thing for eons. And 40 trillion naira across all local governments in all states and the FCT. And if we're asking the questions, if SERAP, for instance, is asking the state governors to account for them, it sounds like, looks like, feels like we do not see the effect on the real lives of the people in the various parts of the country, the 774 local governments and the ancillary local council development areas all across the nation. So, what are the governors going to say? Are we even going to get any response from them at all? Chamberlain, Nyota?
Well, I guess we will see, but we'll watch and see. But also, guys, let's not skip this. On the front page of The Guardian here, there's a warning right there. It says, beware, COVID infections, fatalities still on the prowl. Look, many have forgotten all about that experience. Many think, look, it's gone with the wind.
Yeah.
But a quick reminder here, bringing us back to earth, how we conduct ourselves now. Because in some of the claims, they're coming up with several other vaccines to make sure these things are gone. But with this, we need to equally pay attention here. So let's be cautious and not think that... but incidentally, lots of people have thrown caution to the wind. They think it's over and done with.
Nobody's paying attention anymore. We're not washing hands anymore. The precautionary measures that were put out there, a lot of people don't even observe them anymore. Indeed, what people have seen in one or two offices, they actually have the sanitizers on their table as a decoration, no longer being used as much as or washing the hands as we ought to. Health is wealth. Go to the bathroom, wash your hands. Come back into your house, wash your hands. I mean, with COVID, as you're coming to the house, you're taking off your clothes at the corner there, leave the clothes there for the laundry. Come on, let's get back to being healthy.
No, but can they blame the media for this time, for not going up with this lifestyle? It has to be a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. I mean, it's a norm, a lifestyle, and it can be done. So please, understand that COVID infection, COVID is still on the prowl.
And we know we have a challenge with primary health care, let alone this. But we do hope that everybody pull together. And just so you know, those symptoms, if you see them, I think they normally refer to them as though they were malaria. Yeah. But we need to be a lot more cautious now. So there goes a look at some of the dailies here this morning. We're back in just a moment. We'll focus on ECOWAS. What is the implication of what those countries have done? How does it affect us? How does it affect you and I? We'll attempt to find out from our guest in just a moment. Stay on with us.